Many people have worked with a wheel of life in leadership development or perhaps with a coach. And there's a new resource out there now called Neil's Wheel. And I interviewed the creator, Neil Scotton, as part of the Be Choose Cause Global Leaders Conference. And in fact, I have a video for you. If you're wanting to change this conversation, to broaden it, to really think about what part does each of us contribute to the experience of society? How do we move the conversation of social progress forward? This is a video you'll want to spend a little time with.
Greetings, everybody. Janet Harvey here, CEO inviteCHANGE, and your host for the BeChooseCause.com. That's where you go to register Global Leaders Conference. I'm here for a short video with Neil Scotton, one of our thought leaders and visionaries with an extraordinary new resource for professional coaches to work with global leaders called Neil's Wheel. What it's really about in this session that he'll be leading at the conference is driving real change. Driving real change for the world. Conversations that bring us to talking about what most matters to us. And since I've been the great beneficiary as the client of this process, I'll be joining Neil, and we thought we'd give you a little preview about our sessions. So Neil, where do we start?
I think we start by me throwing a question back to you, Janet. How do you think coaches are holding themselves back from having these real conversations and talk about what really matters?
You would ask me that question. I have a very strong opinion about this, so I will profess my bias. I believe that coaches stand behind this notion of the client is in charge. I think that's right. We do want them to be in full ownership and accepting responsibility for the choices they make through coaching. But it's our partnership as equal peers, as having the power and authority to think about our lives in a most robust way. And sometimes we can't do that as clients. We're not actually able to hear ourselves think very well. The deep listening of a coach is what empowers us to make different choices. But that means we have to be asked the questions that broaden our thinking. And this is what I love about Neil's Wheel, because I didn't even know I had the question in my mind about my future self and how I would be relating to my notion of prosperity. And as my coach through the Neil's Wheel broadened that conversation, I realized there was so much more that I was holding as what prosperity is and isn't, maybe equally as important, without that question challenging me to ask myself what mattered. We would have gone a narrow pathway. And I think coaches must give themselves more permission to be in full relationship with their clients.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, it strikes me at the moment that people feel that they want to do something, but they're not quite sure what. Yeah. That coaches want to take responsibility for what their work is doing, but they don't know how to do that. That they want to ask these questions, but feel, is that the client's agenda? So the whole essence of our series, our session, is going to be, how do we get those conversations opened up? How do we invite the client to be thinking about these things? And the Neil's Wheel is about, how do we put something that's as simple as the wheel of life on the table, but goes much deeper, much further, that recognizes the interdependent nature of the world at the moment, about what's going on socially and environmentally and financially in the world, but what's the legacy that we're looking to create, and much more. That's what this is all about. So that people have a really rich conversation, but without them having to project their own agenda into it, because it's exploring the client's world, you know, and how are they showing up in these domains as a citizen or as a leader, perhaps as a team, as a whole organization, or as convener of something within their communities, as a whole human being. And yeah, that really rich, joyful, I think, as a coach experience, yes, of having that really deep, profound conversation with the client that goes way beyond the me more now type, you know, nature of perhaps the way a lot of them have gone in the past.
I love that, me more now, as if those are things that are the destination. And you and I have talked over the years about the lip service I think coaches give to perceiving a client as whole.
Yes.
Innately creative, resourceful, capable. It's like, well, but of course. but it's not a but of course. So much of life is about peeling away, oh, I won't do those things because that's not what's acceptable in the identity or the persona or the role that I live in life. And then we feel this emptiness, that we're not actually in life in the full bliss and zest of what's possible because we're not having those conversations. Now, where in the world would we have those conversations? In bed at night, pillow talk with your spouse, maybe, but not actually out in the world where it matters. And a coach is a safe place to explore that much more expansive territory. And gosh, boy, do we need people thinking in a much more expansive way about our interdependence, as you said, and dare I say, our intersectionality with each other.
Indeed, indeed. And all the evidence is, both through our own experience and through things like positive psychology, that the more we think beyond ourselves, the more we do things in service for others in some sort of way, we get a greater sense of purpose, a greater energy to do things. And what we get back is a greater sense of fulfillment.
Right.
There isn't that hollowness of, okay, I'm achieving, but why? That actually it just feeds our souls, and as well as our imaginations and our joy, and it's just good for everybody. Yeah. So it's going to be great to share this with people and see what they make of it. I'm really looking forward to it, Janet. I'm loving your energy here, and I'm sure that will be coming into the session.
Yeah. It fits beautifully with the cause word in the naming of this conference. I believe in causing reciprocal prosperity, and that's what's possible through Neil's Wheel. So we'll hope you come join our session. It will be on Friday at 10:30 U.S. Eastern. And of course, if you're in a part of the world where that's the middle of the night for you, the entire conference is being recorded, and you can buy everything and not miss a minute of the extraordinary speakers that will be there. So once again, to register, bechoosecause.com. See you in September. Bye-bye.
Looking forward to it. See you there.
I'm assuming you really enjoyed that video and would like to learn more. You can go to neilswheel.org and find the tool. It's free for use by anyone. Or you can come to the invitechange.com website. It's included in some of our programs. And of course, the bechoosecause.com website for our biannual conference. See you there.